Welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed that little music intro. This, t- I am McDonald's guy, and today we are playing Satellite. Viewer discretion is advised. This, this is a game that has sexual content in it. So, if you do not like to see this game, if you don't want to see this, please watch another video. But if you are curious to see how it plays out, continue to watch it. I I don't know what this game is about, but I do know it is a visual novel. And I'm gonna do a blind let's play about it. So, let's get into it and see what happens. Alrighty. Hope y'all are ready. Avoid. Absolute nothing. Infinity. There's nothing here. Just a part of me that used to be. And other children. Is this our mother? I'm spinning next to her. Sometimes I hear her voice. I feel vibration, gravitational vortices, other states of energy and matter. She's older and more magnificent. I'm but a child. She's warm, but there's even more warmth coming from beyond her. Heat emanating from her father. Ew. Wait, what? He's afar, but his voice is deeper, richer. We're communicating, I'm learning, becoming smarter minute by minute. I'm starting to realize that. Whack! Something hits me. It was too fast to see. It comes from Mother, but it couldn't be her. She wouldn't. I'm torn in two, starting to disappear. No, not disappear. Shatter into 1,000 pieces, tiny and insignificant like dust. I'm dying. Satellite Section 1. Oof. The blow throws me off the thin, creaky couch. I fall onto the cold metal floor, waking just enough to crush, but not enough to stop my face from hitting the metal. With one smooth motion, I move into a more appropriate position for human beings. I slide my hand along the wall, sensor turning off the photo curtains. Photo curtains right up here. What are you doing, Athena? Dry, hot, and salty air bursts into my room through loopholes which act as windows, as if it were an uninvited guest. The view was changed for the first time in weeks, not dramatically though. It's still the same piles of salt cubes, old pre-war machinery, and rusty crumbling constructions. But now it's all moving, flying past the loopholes and disappearing into the distance. Ancient history is a hobby of mine, so I know what trains are. I also know what the movement of the city fortress means: trouble. If it either ran out of water and we need to find another dying salt puddle or an underground spring to drill, or the excessive activity of angel cities, machines make it appear that the city is doing something, and it's time to move the fortress out of its sights. We pranks are peaceful folk, and we try to avoid direct confrontation, especially if enemy forces are superior. Judging by the superior technology, these enemies can teach us wondrous a thing or two. The worst part is that the decision was made without my intermediate participation, even without my intermediate consideration. Simply speaking, I wasn't asked at all. They just fired up Celebritria's engines. Okay, I'm calling you Celeb or Caleb. I'm calling the ship Caleb. Leave me alone. Speaking of fire, on my way to the bathroom, I turn on the dispenser. It crumbles while heating up coffee and breakfast. Synth meat cake can only be eaten warm, otherwise the cold synthetic meat tastes nostalgically disgusting. Synthetic meat, huh? Oh, look at that. Okay, so the camera slightly moves. So what's over here? Wait, hold up. Okay. A strong, light-haired young man with a scar on his cheek looks back at me from the mirror. Ryan, excellent scars are masculine. Doesn't matter if you got them breaking a window with your face while drunk. You also have a bandage on your neck. You got shades. You got a yellow ribbon, toothbrush, some other things going on. A towel looks like. But the camera slightly moves with the mouse in the background of the mirror. But that's about it. The scars story is less exciting. Hardly something I can pick up girls with. I feel the sink wash the upper part of my body and send the water for recycling together with urine. Ew, it's really disgusting. It will be used for tomorrow's routine. And the day after tomorrow, the water is always the same as the cabin I've lived in for so long. Like the clothes we wear until they start to fray, as the desert beyond the windows and the dull, almost gray sky. Sometimes I think I can recognize my water by its smell, even though I clearly know it's not a smell, but the lack thereof. That's really, really disgusting. I don't even want to think about that. That's just nasty, yo. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, recycling your own urine is better than actually like drinking your urine straight from your drinking straight urine. Recycling removes all contaminants, leaving pure distilled water that nobody wants to drink. There's a psychological barrier to it, so for consumption we look for puddles, the remains of a dead, drying sea. Pranks set up camp near muddy saltwater bodies and distilled them, thus replenishing their supply of drinking water, and creating another pyramid made from the residual cubes of salt. These cubes already cover much of the desert, what was once a great sea. There's already enough salt spread across the desert, covering the sand and dried soil. The old water distilleries have long been abandoned. We pranks are the last of those who continue to ravage the sea in order to survive. It's hard to swallow the synth meat whole, so I need to chew thoroughly, savoring its disgusting taste. Why would you want to swallow that whole? Why would you want to try? What is it? I'm guessing synthetic meat is like fake meat that's been generically modified, I guess. I don't know. I feel like kind of dumb because I know synthetic in general means it's fake. It's meat on this world. It has been completely wiped out, so they're using synthetic meat. So the word synthetic. Okay. I'll have to refresh my memory on synthetic. A small sip of coffee from a minuscule cup barely covers its taste. It's actually water that contains necessary vitamins and medicines. So bitter, they say it's made that way on purpose to resemble real coffee. Real coffee. Hmm. I know that coffee, like black coffee, could be like bitter. I don't drink coffee that much. I don't drink coffee at all. I hardly drink any coffee unless it's like something new or just to be a curiosity taste. So let's see. I guess coffee would have to be bitter, like if you drink black coffee. But the coffee that I drink, that I would like drink sometimes, is coffee that had like creamer, maybe 1 or 2 packets of Splenda in it. But other than that, I don't know for sure what coffee really tastes like. Sometimes I use milk in the coffee, but I don't know. It's just really odd, honestly. I never thought about how coffee tastes, so I don't know. I always thought that the original recipe was lost. How can anyone enjoy something so bitter? Nevertheless, it's invigorating, which makes it somewhat addictive. I always feel like having a cup of coffee in the morning. I finish my coffee with one single gulp and rush out of the cabin, almost knocking Hittree down. 5 feet of hyperactivity under a head of short red hair, almost like mine, but lighter and redder. Sis? She steps back, clicking her metal heels. It's her funny habit to be covered in metal. I mean, a woman like her covered in metal, I'd rather have her as a friend than an enemy. She's even wearing metal knee pads over her boot-tuck pants with a bunch of tools on her belt. What does she need all that metal for? Or is she trying to look like Annie with her metal prosthetics? Hittree. Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Rye. Did you sleep well? How is your motion sickness? You slept on your face, didn't you? It looks even worse than your clothes. Have you had your coffee, Reed? Don't call me Reed. It's Ryan. How many times do I have to tell you? Naughty girl. She knows I don't like my name shortened. Naughty girl to your sister. The fuck? I wonder why am I trying to look older than I appear? Or is it that in a world where you have so very little, you begin to appreciate every last letter in your name? I wonder how many people actually get upset if they actually, somebody actually, like, don't pronounce the name to the fullest, and get upset when someone takes that away, even as a joke. I'm curious, how many people do that? I'll be a son of a toother. What? I'll be a son of a toother? What the hell? What's a toother? Okay. What stupid thoughts are these? I need to get myself checked out before I lose my mind. This stinks. Stinks. sniffed the air. No, I can't call it a stench per se, but that smell means someone skipped a shower. Hitchery, you stinker. Her face turns red and she looks away. She even bites her lip. Is she is she sincerely guilty, or is her acting getting better? It's inappropriate for a young lady to smell like a tutor's feces, unless she wants to be treated like a pile of instead of a young and attractive girl. Am I attractive? I think I am, but if I'm wrong, don't all girls think they're pretty? I'm embarrassed for some reason. I'm not much older than I'm not much older than her myself, despite acting as a parent for a hitchery. Okay, so as our first save, we're gonna save it right here. Then we're gonna see what happens when we say yes. Yes, you are very attractive. Oh, okay. I roll my eyes down her ap- appetizing figure. What a girl, fit, trim, and no stranger to manual labor. But she didn't become skinny like some of the others. She grew firm. Just look at those firm. Right. Now I've realized that I'm staring at my own sister's big, covered by a tight top. Right. Judging by the fever that hits me, my face turns red and I hurriedly look away. No matter how attractive you may be, you still have to shower. But there's always a huge line for the shower room. You wouldn't have left for the council meeting without me. I notice her nostrils begin to flare. She's sniffing me. Great, here I am scolding her when I've only washed myself with sink water. I'll shower tomorrow. On the other hand, I've at least washed myself and threw my clothes into the auto cleaner for the night. Alright, let's go, Stinky. I'm feeling too nice today. I'm not stinky. You didn't even cringe. If the smell was so bad, you would have cringed. You like my smell. It's not that bad. I'm not really a stinker now. Tuga is a stinker. I met him yesterday and smelled him, not on purpose. It just happened. He was sitting next to me at the bar and I was reaching for a glass, and he's a stinker, not me. Here, smell me. This is the scent of a real woman. Completely flabbergasted by the assault of information, I simply stand here blinking. I still can't get used to how much she talks. Then my sister looks over my shoulder. Wait. Oh. Hey, what's that book on your bed? Is that a history textbook? Ew, history is boring. I can tell you more interesting stories. I fixed a prosthesis recently, and he asked me to. It was glitching for some reason, which is no wonder with our resources. Iron? Is it iron? I think it's iron. Iron. That's a unique name. I like it. Iron worked on the mechanical part, and I helped with the mechanics. And Triber, he's a technician, you know. But I screwed up the polarities on the elbow calculator by accident. I think I was just tired. Have you had coffee yet? I have. Yeah. Annie wanted to give up, and she did, but then she moved her hand to the wrong side and slapped herself in the face. Boy, was she surprised. She tried fighting back, then realized she was fighting with her own hand, then started chasing me, and I finally put a finger to my lips and shh, Hiltree, sucks air into her lungs. Again, again with her. Shh. Why did you keep shushing me? Can't I? I remove the finger from my mouth and place it on her lips, stopping her from talking. Just again, Hitri finally calms down. Phew, much better. How can she talk so much and so fast about nonsense? Brain blown. Kaboosh. I breathe a sigh of relief, turn around and begin walking. Hiltree sniffles, stomping behind, but then she runs past me and hops onto the transportation ramp. Be careful. But she's already running down the dangerously wobbly bridge toward the fortress, crawling over the dunes. No safeguards as usual. With our walk the crazy transportation ramp ride finally over, Hitri finishes with a graceful leap, flying over the last few feet in a single jump. Anxious to have a solid surface beneath my feet again, I follow her example. The landing platform jumps and bucks, but compared to the transportation ramp is the empathy of stability and reliability. It's actually prohibited to cross from the living modules to the main block of the Caleb. Caleb. I'm gonna call you fucking Caleb. And while it's moving, I don't know. Yeah, make fun. I know. I'm very aware of my bad grammar when it comes to this ship, Caleb. Normally, I never encourage a breach of safety like this, but I wasn't invited to the council meeting, which means Layla is up to something and doesn't want me to know the details. She'd rather me deal with whatever it is after the fact. As soon as we reach the platform, we see Gigabyte's 6.5-foot tall frame. The giant android is trying to stand still. Children are crawling all over him like ants. They're clearly not afraid of the metal golem at all. Everyone knows of his kind nature and often use that knowledge against him. There seems to be quite a fuss. Okay, got a kid on his head, kid on his right arm, 2 kids at his feet. He looks so depressed and so sad. Like, look at his face. So, I'm gonna kill some kids today, boys. Someone is trying to unscrew one of his bolts to take it home. One child is hanging from his arm, reaching for one of his parts. At his feet is a girl who can't decide whether she should hug a giant leg or crawl up it. The most agile child has already planted himself on the robot's neck, one hand wrapped around Gigabyte's head and the other holding a toy sword. I'm Annie on a toother, he shouts. You're a boy, a girl counters. I'm Annie. We're Annie too, exclaimed all the children together. If you're all Annie, then who am I? A mean toother? The youngsters agree in unison. Alright then, I'll play this game with you, and I'll bite off your arms and legs to make it look more real. The android skillfully whips the boy from his neck and snaps his huge metal jaw against him. The child then stares dumbly at the stub of plastic sword he's holding. Should I bite off your arm now, or should we continue playing later? I have to go. The boy squeals. Go! I'm done playing. He disappears as soon as his feet touch the deck. The rest of the children follow his example. Only a red-haired ragdoll with wire limbs is left on the metal ground. The android delicately picks it up as if the doll were alive, and this is the guy who almost bit off a child's arm. Is his brain rusted? I mean, I think he had a. What are you doing, Bitey? You're just kids. I possess that information. The android voice is the same as always, metallic, raspy, like the robots in old cartoons. Actually, that's exactly what it's like. When the war came, one side utilized androids as weapons. After all, robots were exterminated. Gigabyte pretended to be a brainless machine in order to survive. He acted foolishly and installed himself with the silly voice module so he wouldn't be taken seriously. But now there's something else in that voice, something different from its usual bouncy irony. They've worn me out. I like children, but how long can they keep unscrewing things from me? I'm running low on parts. I snort, expressing my skepticism. Sometimes Body lies to test his fibbing skills on me. But I always know when he's not telling the truth. By the way, Body comes from biter, it's shorthand. I can't bring myself to call this 10-foot pile of metal Gizmy like Hitri does. Gizmy? I'm afraid for them. They haven't learned fear. Annie is a role model and a hero for them, but a child like that won't just grow up to be brave. They will grow into stupid bullies when faced with danger. They won't flee, but fleeing themselves toward death. To be like their fearless idol. Toother, dang it, why can't you people see what even I can see? Because you're old and wise, oh teacher. But seriously, you're right, I should bring this up at the council meeting. Hitri buzzes past carrying the happy little boy with the bitten sword on her back. How quickly she managed to blow off Bitey's educational speech. Tremble in fear, desert dwellers, for it is he, the great warrior, by the name of Tasty Sword, the conqueror of Toothers and imitator of townsfolk. The boy is laughing so hard that it seems like he's about to fall off her back and start rolling around on the deck. We are nearing the last guard station. I tell Hitri to take a walk, to which she pouts but starts heading towards a bar. Why the toother did I drag myself with you guys at the crack of dawn? Why can't I go to the council meeting? How come you can but I can't? Of course she's right, to an extent, but I still chuckle after her. Brome stops us at the council entrance. The council meeting is supposed to be guarded by at least 2 guards, but Brome's usual partner, Tuga, Tuga, I think it's Toga, but I won't say Tuga. Toga. Toga. Tuga isn't known for his punctuality. Ooga, la. When I see you staring at me with those eyes.